Hey guys, welcome to CORmeetsWorld, episode 2. This is a very special episode. We have a special guest with us. Would you like to tell the audience your name, your major, a fun fact, and how you know Corey?
Okay, so my name is Tolu Adeyemo. I'm a double major in advertising, public relations, and sociology at UNC. A fun fact about me: so I'm technically a Nigerian prince,
Mm,
because I don't have like riches or anything like that.
mm-hmm,
But my father's side of the family, they were like the chief family of their village back in Nigeria in Ekiti.
mm-hmm.
So when I went back when I was 9 years old, they were all like super nice to me, and they're all like, "Oh, like wow, Americana, chiche." Like it was crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, so that's he always says like I'm a Nigerian prince. Also, the Ade in my last name means
Mm-hmm.
crown. So
Oh, so is that why?
um, kind
Or is it
yeah,
just like, oh, okay.
it's like it a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
And how I met Corey, we met on like Instagram, like our
I think,
senior.
or was it patio? I think it was patio.
It might have been Patio,
Mm-hmm.
and then we moved into
Mm-hmm.
Instagram.
Yeah, because we were one of the people that actually talked in our like pre-college patio chat before freshman year.
Yes.
Yeah,
Can I be
and
honest?
mm,
You were kind of giving like trade.
oh,
Patty.
that's not in the sense that we
Well,
just got into the episode. Like we're not even a minute in.
you knew what you.
Well, no, that's true. No, 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 no. I agree. I agree. Um, yeah, just because I feel like Instagram for me in high school was different than Instagram for me now. Just because I don't know. Like I felt like I didn't really start posting. I did like a rebrand. I love like how I talk about myself like I'm a celebrity already, but
You are.
I did a rebrand in high school. I think it was going into senior year. So going into that is when I started thrifting, and then I started to just like try different things, blah blah blah. But I agree, I definitely was, and I ate that. I don't know. I don't
No, no,
know.
you did. Like no, like genuinely, yeah.
Yeah, but let's talk about. Do we should we talk about? Okay, no. Here's one thing I want to ask before we move on from. Oh wait, you already answered that. I just realized you just answered that. Okay. Let's talk about the fact that it is the first week of class. We are UNC students. Let's just touch on how the first week is going for both of us. By the way, this is being recorded on January 12th, so it's the third day of classes here at UNC. So we're just gonna touch on how the first week of class is going for Tolu.
Um. Well, I don't have any classes today because I don't have Friday classes. So right, period.
Yeah.
Um. Classes have been going well, I think. I
Mhm.
just am waitlisted for two of my classes. For
Ooh.
those of you that don't go to UNC, I just
Mm.
want you to know class registration here. Like whatever you
Hell.
imagine the seventh circle of hell is, it's 10
Hell.
times worse. It's
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, and I'm being so genuine when I say that.
So
Like,
genuine.
what do you mean this class is a prerequisite for every other class in my major, and
Mhm.
each section of the class
Mhm.
is capped at 20 students?
Exactly. If you don't come into UNC with credits and you can get those earlier registration periods, then you're out of luck. And that's I don't know because I know that
So real.
in my experience, I came in with a lot of credits, so I have literally always gotten the exact class at the exact time with the exact professor that I've wanted since coming into UNC. But I know that that experience is not universal.
And as someone that came in with zero credits, I have had the
Oh,
opposite
yep,
experience.
yep.
um,
But okay, so the first topic we're gonna talk about. So the way this episode is gonna run, this is my first guest, so I got to get a feel for things. But we're gonna run through some general topics first, and then we're gonna jump into some Tolu core. We're gonna jump into some Tolu
what
specific
does that mean?
topics. Okay,
Like,
we'll
what
get
does that
there.
mean?
So
Okay.
there's a few topics I wanted to talk about today. One of them being Ariana Grande just released a new song yesterday, guys, and me and Tolu, we both just listened to it because I wanted to talk about this specifically because it did drop today, Friday, January 12th, and I think the music video should be out now too. Haven't looked at it, but we both just listened to it together, and I mean, this is the podcast where I told y'all we were going to talk about everything going on right now in pop culture and music and etc. So I feel like this is something we need to talk about because Ariana Grande is an icon in her own right, and I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about this era so far. I have a lot of thoughts about where she's going, but that's not the point of this. We're just going to talk about this new song, Yes and. I literally mentioned this in the last episode, but the song Yes and we need to jump into that and talk about it. So Tolu, I want you as special guest to give your initial thoughts, and then I'll give mine, and we can discuss.
Right. Well, I feel like okay. So I've never been like an Ariana Grande stan by any means. I
Mhm.
respect her.
Mhm.
Like I respect her grind. Like since Victoria,
A
she's been
grind day.
right.
I'm sorry.
You're
I'm
not
sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Hmm.
um, I've never been like a Ariana hater or whatever, but it's, but like this song, I think it feels very commercial, very
Okay.
corporate.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like
Okay.
I'm not loving it. But Corey did like make an interesting point earlier. He was like, like you're not gonna, we might not be getting it the first time because people on Twitter were like, oh,
Hmm.
this is her "Break My Soul,"
Hmm.
like Beyonce song "Break My Soul" when Beyonce released that single before she released the Renaissance album, and that
Right.
album changed my life. Like,
Uh, I'm sure it
can
did.
you won't break.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just like it is.
You won't break
It
my
is
soul.
Renaissance.
Don't play with me.
She made it for y'all.
For
Anyway,
y'all is crazy.
but wait, what was I gonna say? Yes, I agree with that. But what I want to say is, okay, so when I listened to it for the first time last night, when I got home, and I'm gonna say the first listen, I was like, okay, um, this is something, and then when I got to like the middle of the song, I was like, why did she release this as the first single? Because I mean, I don't know. I don't talk about it a lot, but I feel like I have a really good understanding of the music industry, and like I have a good understanding of eras and all that. And I feel like we could understand the song better when we get another single or when the album actually drops and we get a better feel for this era. But I'm just not really understanding why she's going house and Vogue and almost like a ballroom inspo.
That's what I'm saying.
And
It's not for everyone.
but I'm saying I don't know why she did that. If Drake did it, then Beyonce. I don't think we need an Ariana Grande house album. I know I don't need it, and I don't want it
That's what.
because
That's really real.
I mean, I'm tired of hearing Renaissance. I'm tired.
Ooh,
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm tired of hearing Pure Honey. I'm tired of that. I don't want it anymore. I want Ariana to come back as Ariana. Like I don't want her to come back and give people. I mean, maybe she's just having fun, and that's also okay. But going back to what you said about, I'm sorry. Going back to what you said about the Break My Soul effect. I'm gonna call it that. Going back to what you said about the Break My Soul effect, I definitely see that happening with this song because I will never forget the first time I listened to Break My Soul was actually with Tolu. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? Yes. When Break My Soul came out, it was our freshman orientation over the summer between high school and freshman year, and Tolu and I had the same orientation. And when that song dropped, me and Tolu listened to it together. I personally thought it was cool. I thought it was fun, but I didn't like it. I didn't think I was gonna go back to it.
I was messing with it like immediately, like off Corey.
I'm sorry.
Like, you're not serious.
Well,
that's not
in the sense that.
like,
Yep.
No, definitely. I think for me, like Break My Soul, like it changed everything for me. And I don't know if I say this, if I'll be crucified for saying this, but I wasn't the biggest Beyonce fan before Renaissance.
That's fair.
How do you? Right?
That's fair.
Like I definitely respected her craft. I knew she was one of the greatest artists of all time for sure.
Okay, here's something I feel like might be a hot take.
Ooh, hold on.
No. It's not bad. I genuinely feel like Beyonce is, look, this isn't even for debate. Like I feel like this is objective. Beyonce is the greatest performer alive right now.
That's a fact.
And you can bring up Bruno Mars. You don't bring Bruno Mars up to me. Thank you. You can bring up Janet Jackson. Yeah, but you can bring them up if you want to. It's not going to change the fact that they're not Beyonce.
Right. Do you know, which reminds me, a little sidebar, but me and my friends last semester, we were arguing about this. Why were people trying to tell me Drake was a better artist than Beyonce?
Oh.
You're not serious.
And I know the type of person that told you that.
Right.
But the thing is, to me, Drake isn't even the best rapper from Young Money.
That's what I'm. And
Come
that's
on,
like, let's really wake it up.
He's not even the best rapper from Young Money. What he can do is make a hit, and I can respect that.
Right.
But he's not putting pen to paper. He's not giving you those heavy bars. He's not making you think about anything. Kiki, do you love me? Like nobody wants. Like that's not. You're not. He's not the best rapper. He's probably the best hit maker. He's not the best singer.
Right.
He can't sing better than, not to bring him up again, but
I need to max win.
What? What are you?
Did you not hear that? Like Drake was on. I think he was on live, and he like said like his alter ego was a woman named Anita Maxwin.
Okay.
And like it became like oh.
This is why I don't like Drake.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I really don't like Drake. I haven't liked Drake. I never have liked Drake. I like his music, but as a person, I think he can be very corny as a celebrity.
Oh, he's the corniest celebrity walking.
Yeah.
And that's saying something.
And yeah, I never really did like Drake. So the fact that they could even compare Drake to Beyonce is a joke. Beyonce, another thing I will say, Beyonce is one. Okay, this is going to be a hot take again. Beyonce is one of the greatest vocalists that we have seen live.
That's also, I don't feel like that's a hot take.
People don't like to give Beyonce her credit.
That's
though.
what I'm saying, but that's because she's a black woman, and I don't know. Now, we're not going to talk about the fact that she's a billionaire. That's a whole other thing.
Ooh.
But
somebody tried to say, I remember somebody tried to say that Rihanna, okay, I'm not allowed to you. Rihanna can't sing. And I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because we're not going to forget that clip of her trying to sing Needed Me, and it sounded like she needed vocal training. Like,
oh, you're crazy.
Like, no, like she's never been able to sing live. The only good performances she has is when she lip syncs and dances. Ooh. And we're not going to talk about that lackluster Super Bowl performance.
Ooh, she was pregnant.
Maybe do the Super Bowl when you're not pregnant. I don't know. I just feel like she is an icon in her own right. Obviously, it's Rihanna, but I feel like if you are Rihanna, like I said, do the Super Bowl when you can do the Super Bowl. Because when it comes, this is another, going back to Beyonce, like when it comes to the Super Bowl, Beyonce's very first Super Bowl performance, the only Super Bowl performance that compares is Michael Jackson's, because his was better.
Right.
And okay, this isn't a joke. This is going to sound like a joke. But you know, one that was really iconic was Katy Perry's. Katy Perry's Super Bowl performance was one of the best.
I think Katy Perry, like, ran the 2010s.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the early 2010s. But then after that, I think it's really crazy, like, how badly she dropped off. I don't know.
But I think after she dropped that album, that weird album where Swish Swish was on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, after that weird album, people kind of were like, Katy lost her flair. I don't think so. I think, not to bring up Pink Friday too, but a lot of people are saying, like, Pink Friday 2 would have been an amazing opportunity for Katy Perry to make a comeback, and Katy Perry could have been featured on Pink Friday Girls. I 100% agree, because Nicki Minaj and Katy Perry, Katy, and Taylor, and I'll give it to Rihanna too. Those
are the
Taylor
people. Swift. I just have to say that.
That's not.
But I'm the gay one? That's crazy.
No,
Wait,
no. I do too. I really, I don't hate Taylor Swift, but I don't understand the hype, because I love All Too Well, the 10-minute version, the Sad Girl Autumn version, the normal version. I love a lot of her songs. She has really good songs, but I don't think.
I just feel like a lot of her music has been done by other.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I love, like,
100%.
if you say, like folk music, for example, niggas turn on Taylor Swift. First of all, I'm going to put on Leith Ross, Clairo. Nah, I don't know. Like, I can't get behind it. It just gives, like, she's like, how old? 27?
27?
Maybe.
She looks like she has to be 39.
Ooh! I'm sorry, you're crazy. That was insane.
I'm so sorry. No Taylor slander necessarily, because I know a lot of listeners really like Taylor.
That's really not my problem.
But you know what people tried to say? They tried to compare the Eras tour to the
Don't
Renaissance.
even say, because you're gonna make me mad again.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me mad again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They tried
Taylor
to
Swift
compare.
versus Beyonce. Beyonce, I am so sorry.
I am so
I'm
sorry.
so sorry.
Beyonce, I am so sorry.
Like
Beyonce. Oh my God, I can't even because I'm not a stan of Beyonce, but I can just respect her work ethic, her talent, her being able to maximize the talent she does have, because I feel like a lot of artists don't master that, and I think that's a lot to do with her dad.
That's really good.
It has a lot to do with her dad. He was able to maximize the natural talent she did have, and make it evolve through time. Because don't forget, Destiny's Child is the biggest girl group of all time.
Beyonce.
It's the biggest girl group of all time. Destiny's Child is, and then to be able to transition from a girl group and become one of the biggest, and become, at that time, the biggest solo female artist at that time. That's like, that's a talent right there. Oh my God, wait, we're off track. To circle back though, yeah, Ariana Grande's new song. we, we talked around that, but Ariana Grande's new song, I do think it had the "Break My Soul" effect. I don't want a house album from Ariana Grande. I want her to take that. I want her to take that blonde hair dye out, and I want her to put a ponytail back in, and give us some whistle notes, because I can't.
Knee-high boots,
can't.
hoodie dress, like, take us back.
The oversized, like, just come out with an oversized hoodie on, like you should be.
Wait, I've been thinking about this.
Okay.
Like, the rumors about her home wrecking. What are your thoughts? What do you?
I talked about this on episode 1. Like I said, I can't control what she did to SpongeBob's wife or his child.
You're
but,
crazy.
Because, like, I mean, okay, so a lot of fans are defending her by saying he was already filed for divorce before they had even been spotted out together. Which, I mean, with that being said, we can't make a timeline enough to say that during the marriage she was cheating. Also, I have a very hot take about things like this.
Let's hear it.
I don't think there's a such thing as a homewrecker.
Well,
I'm sorry. I don't think there's such thing as a homewrecker, because the person, the mistress or mister, I don't know, the person that's not in their relationship has no obligation to that person's partner. So therefore, you're not wrecking a home. The home was already wrecked because that person decided to step out. So, like, what are you, like, I do agree that, just having human decency, you shouldn't engage with someone in a relationship. But I don't think that when it does happen, the mistress, or the mister should be the person that receives the flack, because I feel like a lot of times when people cheat, that person's partner tries to blame the mistress or tries to blame the person they stepped out with.
I don't agree with that. Yeah, I get it.
Like obviously you shouldn't be like messing with someone who has a romantic partner. However, let's not place the blame on that person, because the person in a relationship is the one who, because what happens is somebody gets cheated on, and then they walk around mad they get back with their boyfriend or girlfriend, and then they walk around mad at the person they cheated on them with.
That's calm behavior. Sorry.
Like that's insane.
Your partner just pulled one over on you.
Exactly. And the way I see this is Ariana, like, I really wanted her. I said this on episode 1. To get back to her song, I really wanted this to be like I did it. Yes. And
that's what I was thinking it was going to be.
I really wanted her to do that. I really wanted to say, yeah. And what makes me really mad about Ariana is that, like, I see this for her. I see her being with, like, a Travis Kelce, not Jacob Elordi, but Jacob Elordi adjacent, because Jacob Elordi's too young for her. But, somebody that's not whatever that is, the SpongeBob person. Like,
yeah, that was really crazy.
Like,
I don't know.
Like, Ariana, like, I don't know.
Imagine being Ariana Grande.
Imagine being Ariana Grande, and this is what... Anyway, moving on from Ariana Grande, just to give a debrief, final thoughts on the song.
Chop.
Ooh, on first listen.
First listen, yeah.
But you're going to be voguing to it in the pit next week. Anyway, moving on.
That's not. You thought that was a read. I don't know. I really don't know about this.
It was, because we're gonna see. We'll check back in with y'all next week, y'all. Anyway, I had a topic I wanted to talk about, because this was just something that came up with me and some friends the other day, and I just before I get into the discussion, Tolu, I just want to hear what it comes to your mind first when I say friendship standards, before I give the spiel and open the discussion.
I'm thinking it means, like, what you're willing to, or like what your basic requirements are.
Come on, yeah.
For a friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to give a preface, going into 2024, I realized, hey, this is the year I turned 21. I'm in college. I'm growing as a person. I see myself growing as a person. I see myself meeting the world.
Where are you?
And, I see myself really like using my experiences to make myself a better person through things like journaling and all that, and like really like trying to find like my place in this world and try to figure out, more about who I am as a person.
Come on.
And this was a really pivotal year for me because 2023, if it didn't, it taught me a lot about myself in relation to other people, and how I'm viewed through other perspectives and public perception of myself, things like that. Like I really like got a grasp on understanding on that. And that led me going into this year saying, hey, like you don't have to take this and that from these people. You don't have to stay around people that aren't adding value to you because you feel like it's a requirement or you feel like it's. So going into this year, I told myself, I was like, if they're not serving me and my friendships and these friendships or relationships or whatever aren't adding value to my quality of life directly, and it's not, you know what I mean?
Right.
Why should I have them around? And it goes the other way too. Try to like spending time with those people that are genuinely making you happy and genuinely adding value to your life. So to go back to the main topic, going into 2024, I said, I'm holding my friends to a standard. And because I feel like I wasn't doing that. I feel like I wasn't holding the people that I have around me to the standard that I hold myself to as a friend. Because I know what I do for my friends, and I know what I expect from my friends. But when am I going to start enforcing a standard on my friendships?
Right.
And this was the year, and this was a discussion I had because it was a particular. This isn't that podcast. We're not gonna. This isn't that podcast.
I was waiting.
Where we're gonna really like wake that up.
We'll have a conversation. About it.
We will. But we're not gonna. This isn't the podcast where we're gonna necessarily wake that up because I don't want this to turn into a like Corey's on this podcast
we can
talking
make
about
this a shade room. I don't know.
I was about to say this isn't a blog, y'all. This is not the shade room, but
roommates, what do you think?
Wait, we got to come up with a name for my listeners.
That's so real.
Oh my God, Earth. Okay, no, I'm just bad. We'll come up with that for y'all later. But the point I'm trying to make it, I am going to give you some details about it on here, just so the listeners have a better understanding of what I'm saying. So basically, there was there's been. I'm trying to figure out how to not be the shade room.
Diplomatic about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to politician my way around it. Basically, there. This kind of is a specific. This isn't necessarily a specific friendship I have in mind, but going into 2024, I realized that everyone that I had, everyone that I was hanging out with, they weren't. I wasn't holding them to a standard. But once I went into 2024, held them to that standard in my head, I realized who I wanted to. This is going to sound so, but like who I wanted to bring into the year with me and who I didn't.
That's not a bad thing. I just want to say that's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
That's very valid. Because not everyone's meant to be in your life forever.
Exactly.
And it also doesn't have to be beef when someone's not in your life.
That's exactly what I was trying to articulate.
People
change and we outgrow each other.
That's
and
what I'm
that's
saying.
okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
I want to see you eat. It just doesn't have to be at my
it doesn't
table.
Have to,
right.
Because we can win, but we don't have to win together.
Exactly.
And I can hope the best for you.
Right.
But you also have to. And I feel like this goes into my next topic of maturity, because you have to be mature enough to realize that, okay, this person may not be. We may not be for each other anymore. Like we like freshman. Okay, just for example, freshman year we were in the same place in a lot of places, and we had a lot in common, and we could talk, and we could relate.
Right.
But now we can't, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. But it's just having the maturity to realize that, and not surrounding yourself around people that aren't servicing you as that position of a friend.
And I've had a similar realization because over winter break, I was doing a lot of thinking, and I was like, okay, so like I do a little like check-in with myself after every semester, like lessons I want to take into next semester. And one of the main lessons was that I needed to be firmer about setting boundaries with my loved ones, because I can set a boundary with someone I don't really care for, but for me, I struggle doing it with my loved ones, especially my friends, because I don't want to like cause an argument. I don't want us to like fall out over something. Like I'm really scared of like losing people I care about, right? So, but like over winter break, I realized that like it was also like causing me to live like in like anxious fear, right? like I had to walk on eggshells around people I didn't really need to because I just couldn't voice like how I really felt about things.
Right.
And so now like I'm making more of a conscious effort to like understand how I feel about something
Mm-hmm.
and understand that not only is it okay that I feel that way, it's even more okay that I voice that opinion
Exactly.
and that I voice that I feel that way, so they know because they deserve to know how I feel because I don't be
Mm-hmm.
telling my friends how I feel.
That's the thing. You got to be scared of that. You can't be scared of that conflict. But I feel like for me, I have a similar issue with, with setting
Mm-hmm.
boundaries with people that are on the closer end, because then it's like, oh, you're this, you're that, you're
Right,
fake,
right. Because like, oh,
yeah.
you're fake. Like, oh, like you don't have to be like that. Oh, you're so sensitive.
Hmm.
I don't want to be like.
Sensitive.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That sensitive word really does
Hmm.
something to me. I don't
Hmm.
know because I'm like, ooh, that doesn't.
Yeah, that's not,
Yeah,
in the
that's
sense
really
that,
not.
yep,
I don't
that's
know.
really not. And like, I feel like that's why I feel like that whole conversation just like really just shows how much college, like being in college, is so like essential to the development of you, of a person. Like,
Right.
I'm not saying college is for everyone, but I'm just saying when the people that do go to college tend to have a better understanding of themselves after that 4 years. And after speaking to, after talking to people that go to college, you can kind of pick up that theme from all of them. Like, they seem to be very confident with themselves. They seem to very much know what they want in this world and have a very, very good understanding of themselves. And I feel like a lot of people never get to that point. They
Mm-hmm.
never get to that point where they
Right.
understand why they do the things they do, what their real purpose is in life.
I do actually want to add to that. I feel like I've been very self-aware and
Hmm.
very like cognizant of what my personal motivations are and like why I feel compelled to do certain things because I've had to understand who I am at such a young age.
Right.
Because how else? Because the only way I'm able to show up so authentically
Hmm.
and like stick out like a sore thumb in the midst of everyone else, it's
Yeah.
because I had to learn who I was and I had
Hmm.
to be very very comfortable with who that person is,
Right.
right? And I think and I know the same is true for you as well.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a lot of people, especially cis hetero people, don't have that experience. They
That
don't
good
really,
understanding of themselves, because
right.
they never were
They never had
forced
to.
to
They
face
never
it.
were forced to face themselves
Hmm.
like that, right?
And that's what I was going to talk about. The thing. Now we're moving into topics that I kind of just want to talk about, like with you. And I feel like this is something you just reminded me of it by what you just said, of when you're in a crowd, you stick out like a sore thumb because you have a better understanding of yourself. And that leads me to my next topic of me and you. Let's just say prominent campus figures. Let's go there. That's the word we can say.
Right.
That's
Okay.
the phrase I can say. With us being people on this campus that are, how would you describe it? Because you know what I'm trying to say.
I think we both have like big personalities and
Okay.
like as well as again like our authenticity. I think it attracts people to us.
Hmm.
That's what I've been told.
Okay.
Right. And so I also feel like because we're both like on top of that we're both extroverted, we just
Hmm.
end up connecting with people really easily.
Right.
And so I feel like we both have like different sides of campus
Right.
that
Because like
really.
somebody said something really interesting to me, and they were like, on this campus, if you don't know Corey, you know Tolu, and if you don't know Tolu, you know Corey. At the end of the day, you know one of these
You know
people.
one of
You
them.
have talked to one of these people in passing. You have heard about one of these people, and I think people don't understand that, like, because my friend Comfort said something really interesting. She was like, people see you on campus, and they see you almost as an idea, or they see you as a concept, but they
Oh,
don't see
brother.
you.
Oh,
They don't see
yeah.
you as a person. And I said, I have felt that way. Like, I felt that way for a good chunk of my life. I feel like when you're a very outgoing person, when it seems like you know everyone and you talk to everyone, and people don't ever see you as a person. They don't ask, oh, Corey, how was your day? Or they don't ask, oh, like, how are you doing? Are
Right.
you okay? Or and when you don't put on that act of that, I will call it performative, because sometimes I
It is
genuinely
performing.
feel like it's so performative for me.
Me as
And I
well.
know I know you have a similar
Hmm.
experience where we don't get to have those bad days, because I remember one day, I think I told you about this. I remember
Hmm.
one day I was just having a bad day. So I wasn't the normal Corey where I was just like, "Oh my god, hey," like,
Yeah.
like I wasn't putting on that act that everyone expects from me. And I was told that I was being rude. that I was being rude because I wasn't engaging in a conversation, because apparently the bland people on this campus can't be in a room and carry on a conversation without us adding something.
Clock it.
Because let's talk about, because and another thing about this is the reason that we're seeing as concepts is because 80% of, if you feel hit by this, that's an issue you have with yourself.
Close.
I was about to say, if the shoe fits, lace it. And what if the shoe fits, lace it. But it's the fact that 60% of these people on this campus are on autopilot.
Right.
60% of the people on this campus don't have a sense of self. Don't have a they feed almost off of people like us that have a better understanding of ourselves and can bring something to a conversation and can, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they literally quite literally feed off of our energy, and that's exhausting. And I think when we're not treated like people and treated more like a tool or a concept or an idea, that they don't understand that we're, they have that lack of understanding that we're still.
I completely understand what you're saying, because I remember, and I know exactly the kind of like what you're talking about with like how people would call you rude because you're not being super high energy.
Yeah.
I would walk into a room, and like sometimes I have quieter days. Like I'm not really like, I'm also not really like super like energetic. I'm not always like that.
Yeah.
Right. And people are always like, "What's wrong? Like, are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm literally fine." Like I can just like be chill and just be like, like sitting. I don't need to be the center of attention all the time, contrary to popular belief.
I was about to say, we feel that way, but they don't.
Right. And
it's almost like
expect like people like treat me like I want to be, and that's not necessarily the case.
Sorry, you're boring.
That's well, yeah. I don't know.
In the sense that,
well,
yeah,
maybe that is. Yeah.
If you take all the Corys and Tolus off this campus, who's going to entertain you, UNC?
Oh, that's, well,
in the sense that
you might have a point. I don't know.
No, I'm being for real though, because I genuinely feel like people, like that's what they expect, and they genuinely expect us to just be like a circus animal for them. They and like, I don't know, and to make an environment somewhere where they want to be, and that's cool. I will say that's cool, and it does make me happy sometimes when like, like they always, want us around or whatever. Like that's really nice, but it's just like I feel, and I do think a lot of this is subconscious for them. They don't like understand.
Yeah, like I don't necessarily like want to hold it against people like this. Because it's like you said, it is nice to be like, when people think of like, oh, who's the person for the job? Oh, it's Corey. Oh, it's Tolu, right? It's nice to be thought of like that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I remember freshman year, I almost like burned myself out doing stuff like this, because I was always doing random stuff that people asked me to do, because they thought, oh, Tolu would be good for this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and for some reason I wanted to like keep up that persona. I wanted to make sure that people kept thinking of me like that.
Right.
But now, like sophomore year, I got to a point where I'm kind of just like, I don't really care. Like I have enough friends. I don't, like, I'm doing me. I need to put myself first.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that, I don't know, that comes with a lot of pressure in itself, I think. Just having to, put it on that. Because I remember I was walking with someone. I think I was walking with Nick, but I was walking with someone, and I was tired. I was burnt out. It was, this was last semester. And I was just tired and burnt out. Like I was having not a good day. I didn't want to like really talk to anyone. And you have those friends that that you still want to be around when you don't want to be around anyone.
Right.
And like I remember we were walking, and then I saw someone, probably didn't know their name, but they were like, hi Corey, and I was like, the way that like it was like almost like muscle memory. I
know exactly what you're talking about.
I literally like, I was just like, oh my God, hi, like how are you? Like your outfit looks so good, right. the and I mean, like I'm not saying that I'm being performative and I'm being fake all the time, but I feel like if I don't give that reaction, then it's just like,
it's going to be like it would literally and for me, it literally has been a topic of conversation with some people afterwards. Like I've given off the wrong impression because I wasn't like that and they expected me to be like that. And I was literally like, people thought of me as like less.
Yeah.
after that, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel like that's fair.
It's
right?
not fair to us.
Right.
But I mean, hey, we chose to go to a PW.
That's true.
But
I think every day, what it would be like if I was an Aggie. Ooh.
No, that's not. I wasn't going there with it, but
my
anyway. But yeah, I do want to talk to you about one thing. So going into UNC, Tolu and I were, we had a lot of similarities. We were both, going into Honors Carolina, and we were both assured admits to Keenan Flagler Business School. So with those two parallels, Tolu and I had a lot of things to, we had to do that were in common, But I want to talk to you about your transition over from Keenan Flagler to now Hussman/sociology. I want to talk to you about what got you to the point, in freshman year where you were comfortable enough to say, hey, I know myself. I know what I want in this world, and I know what I don't want in this world. And, being strong enough to make that decision.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, I will start out by saying I never wanted to be a business major, to be honest with you. Okay. My senior year of high school, beginning of my senior year of high school, I told my mom, I want to be a sociology major. And my mother's nice.
She laughed at you probably.
She literally said, you will be poor. And I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. And we didn't really talk about it after that because I told her to leave me alone with the college admissions process because she wasn't reading my essay because I was definitely talking about her in my essay.
Yeah.
But I remember I told her that I got into UNC in January of my senior year, and she was like, oh, like as a sociology major? And I'm like, no, I got assured admission to the business school. And she was like, oh, you applied to the business school. Oh. Wow, thank God. Right. I was like, okay, this is really crazy.
Oh my goodness.
And so I was like trying to decide like, okay, should I go to UNC or should I go to A&T? Because A&T actually gave me more money than UNC did.
Okay.
And a lot of people I talked to were like, oh, you should go to A&T, until I told them I was an assured admit to the B school. Then they were like,
wake that up.
You need
Wake
to go
that up.
They were like, oh, you should go to UNC. I was like, oh, no way. Like, for real? Like, wow, that's all it took for black people to kind of, like, wait, I don't know. That's kind of crazy.
Keenan Flagler's Keenan Flagler at the end of the day. And that's what they were trying to.
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's.
Just to add on, I am still a business major.
I love that for you. I don't know. I love that for you.
Yeah.
I think that's really cute.
I love it over there.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I love the B school. Okay,
yeah.
Moving on. Don't, because you didn't have to say anything. You didn't even have to say anything.
Right, he knows.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I started going to the B school classes, yada yada, and the entire time I was just bored out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of it was so boring. Like right. And I reached like my breaking point the second semester of my freshman year when I had gone to Hungary with the B school.
Oh.
Yeah. And at that point,
you want to share some about that experience?
Oh, I'm willing to talk about it.
Talk about it.
This is my tell-all.
Wake it
right?
Up.
Yeah. So it was for a global immersion elective. So we were going to go to Hungary to do consulting with a business there,
right? To
help them increase their profits and also expand into Berlin.
Consulting,
right? Oh. But I told myself at that point, like consulting was the only thing I could stomach doing post grad in terms of business because I was like, I couldn't do finance. I hated math.
Marketing.
No? But even then, like I could do marketing with a degree from
media,
which is why like I was like, okay, like whatever, like I need to just switch already.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I hated finance, like because I'm terrible at math and I hate math. I didn't want to do investment banking because the long hours were never going to be worth it for me. Yeah. I didn't like sales because that felt kind of soulless. And
I would say
right.
I could never do that.
Real estate would be nice. I know you're doing real estate, commercial real estate. Yeah. Like shout out Corey. I don't know if I could do that. I feel like that's not really my vibe. I think I'd be bored with that too. That's not really my style. I think I need something a little more creatively minded. Because I'm just not the type of person that can really separate my life from work. Right. Some people can do that, and I respect y'all for that. Right. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I need to like enjoy what I'm doing somewhat. but yeah, so I was like, okay, like I'm in Hungary, right? Aside
Hmm.
from like a lot of other stuff going on, I got food poisoning
Oh, I remember that.
on
And
my
your
way to.
luggage was lost,
My
right?
luggage was gone for 3 days. I
Okay,
went three
yeah.
days in Hungary with no clothes,
Oh God.
no clothes,
Yeah,
no face products to
that'll
wash
do
my
it.
face, no African wash rag. I felt so dirty,
Yeah.
like oh my god. And yeah, I don't know, it was a lot. Mind you, I also saw my brother on my 12-hour layover in London, and he was very confused when I had to go back to the airport, and I ended up vomiting because I had food
Oh,
poisoning from the
yeah.
plane, from the airplane
Yeah.
food. It was crazy. I don't know. It
Hmm.
was really like God. That was a sign from God. But anyways, like on that trip, I was the only black person on that trip, and I was
Mm.
there with 6 frat guys, and some of them might be listening to this, and I want you to know, not all of you. Well,
Well, you can talk about them by name.
my name is crazy. That feels crazy.
Yeah.
They're students at UNC, so I don't.
Who?
You're. I feel like I don't know. You're cool.
Shout
with
out
some of them.
Gavin.
Yeah. Hey, Gavin.
No, we love Gavin
Hey,
though.
yeah.
Seriously.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Shout out. Shout out. Yeah. Valedictorian. Real.
What about the other ones?
Ale. Hey, Ale.
Okay, no, I want you to like explain what was this
Oh,
experience.
right. Well, yeah. They were like a lot of them were like kind of like the jokes they made. I laughed at the time because I didn't want to like kill the mood per se, but like they were
Oh,
like
there were
really
jokes made.
problematic.
Can we get some examples?
This one guy, I'm not gonna say who it was. It wasn't either Ale or Gavin, but he
Yeah, I
kept
would've
making
said
jokes
so.
about his Asian girlfriend, and it made me
Oh.
really uncomfortable. It made me really uncomfortable the entire time,
Oh,
and I
my
was like, I don't know,
goodness.
should you be saying that? And again, I just want to reiterate, I was the only black person on the trip in Hungary, where
Mhm.
I saw maybe 3 black people a day.
Oh my God.
So it was really, yeah.
So, would you say that experience kind of solidified what you already thought about
Yeah,
the business world, or?
kind of, or like it confirmed my worst fears, because I had told like I said, I told myself consulting was the only thing I could do, and then, even then the consulting aspect was so boring to me.
Mm.
Like
Oh, yeah, I
Gavin,
hate
like Gavin
consulting.
was having way more fun than I was.
I
At least it seemed like it. He seemed like he was having way more fun than I was. I don't know. I did not enjoy it.
Mm-mm.
I was bored the entire time. I just didn't like it. I just knew after that it wasn't for me.
Okay.
And I had a conversation with the dean of the B school. Love her.
Shamul.
Leslie Milton. You're
Oh.
nuts.
Wait.
Yeah,
Leslie.
like the lady with the southern accent. She's like really like, hey y'all, very cute.
I don't know who that is because
Well,
I thought you
she's
because
really,
because Shamul's our undergrad dean, and then
she's the dean of admissions.
oh,
My bad. I should have specified.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't.
okay.
I realized it just said dean and not yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, it was yeah. After that, I remember I switched my major, quote unquote, temporarily
Mm-hmm.
after I got back registering for classes for the fall.
Right.
To get into Mijo classes because I was planning to apply,
Okay.
and I was like, oh no, I'll just like double major or like make it a minor.
Mm-hmm.
And then my friend Kezia was like, oh, are you gonna switch it back?
Shout out Kezia.
Shout out Kezia, I love you. She was like, are you gonna switch it back? And I was like, no. Like, so I just
Yeah.
kept my major as Mijo and sociology,
Okay.
and now we're here, and I love it. Except it's really hard to get into major classes. I'm really struggling, but it's fine. But like, I love it. I got into husband last semester. I'm like down.
Love husband.
I'm
far.
advertising public relations down.
Down.
Future copywriter, holla at me.
Okay.
Hire me.
Okay.
I can advertise down for you. I
Okay.
don't know.
Because but I will say, Husman, I will agree with you. The vibe at Husman is definitely a lot different than the vibe
It's
at
still
Keaton
really
Flagler.
white, but
Yeah.
it's like
but
I would rather take
it's
white
more
women
inviting.
over white men. Ooh,
It's more
am I
inviting.
allowed to say that on here?
What?
I would rather have like deal with white women over white men.
I don't think that's a hot take.
I
I
was
feel
hoping
like-
it wasn't.
Yeah, I was to say, I feel like Husband is very like, I don't know, it's very good vibes there.
Right.
But I will say I've had amazing, like, like our experiences are obviously different.
No,
but, like,
I had
I've-
some good experiences at Keenan Flagler.
Yeah, like I've had really great experiences at Keenan. The professors, really great experiences with the professors. I do the community equity inclusion board. I know, ironic.
Period.
I do that there.
Okay,
I
black
love
people.
all my board members.
Yes.
You know, I actually was able to go to one of the Black Affinity Group events. You know, me and Jess went.
Right, I remember that.
And
did you get free food?
yeah, Zaxby's
Absolutely.
actually.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I should have came. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh,
Wait, did you need to apply with your business? I have a business email.
As long as you
still.
have your email, you can come to the
I
events.
still have my email, I think.
Yeah, but I going to events like that and like working, like literally like the our job is to make it more equitable and to make it more inclusive there. So like being able to work hands on and like see that some people on faculty are so passionate about. Shout out Desiree. Some people
I
on
love
faculty,
Desiree.
yes,
Oh my
are
gosh.
so dedicated to making that place inclusive. Just
Right.
seeing that.
Which reminds me, I'm really sad that Felix left, but also good for him.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw
he has
that.
a kid now. He's a dad.
Congratulations.
Period. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Shout out to Felix.
Shout out to Felix. I remember he was so welcoming when
He was I
coming
loved him.
in. He was
When
so
I was
nice.
trying to decide whether or not I wanted to leave, Felix was like one of like 3 reasons I kept thinking about me wanting to stay.
Mhm.
And Shamol was like one of them too.
Yeah.
That was really
Shout out Shmuel.
shout
love
out Shamo.
our
Like,
undergraduate
she's real.
dean.
She's so real.
Amazing. And like just meeting people like that, and then like also knowing that this is like a field that I have, I just really like. I was like, oh, this is that, like, like obviously it could be better.
Right.
Obviously it could be better, and it does, like, it is really disappointing to hear like stories like yours where like it wasn't just the field of business that made you uninterested, but it was also that environment, like it was also the fact that, I mean, if we're being honest, a lot of students at the B school are, spoiled, privileged.
Right.
They were in before they were even born. So to kind of wrap up here, can you just tell us a little bit about looking forward, not only into 2024, but looking forward to the rest of your time at UNC / the rest of your life? Like, what are you excited about? What are you looking forward to? Like,
I'm looking forward to proving my parents wrong.
okay.
I'm like
You're not gonna be poor.
Oh, absolutely. I can't ever be poor. I'm an anti-capitalist. However, I can't ever be poor.
You can't be anti-capitalist and then.
I'm Nigerian. I can be. So, because like it's literally like I'm an anti-capitalist, but like I'm Nigerian, so we're literally allergic to being poor. Like, if that makes sense. I don't know. It might not make sense. To me, it makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, y'all. One thing you'll learn about me: I am not anti-capitalist. I'm sorry.
We know.
I'm not a socialist. I'm sorry. I'm a business major through and through,
We know.
and I feel like
You're my most problematic friend.
I am because
You're
I'm
not.
gonna say what I want to say. Like, I'm gonna say what I want to say. Like,
Corey
well, so
last
what
night
now?
was literally telling us, guys, I'm like right-leaning independent, and I'm not joking. And we were like, okay.
Real women vote for Trump.
No, that was a banger actually. They really ate that.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, actually, I'll say it. I'll stand on that. I'm standing on
Period.
that because, like, I am standing on my business major.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I'm standing
so
on my
champ. I
business
don't
major
know.
because I know that, like you said, okay, this is gonna be probably. You said it first. So I can
Okay.
say it. The whole like allergic to being poor. I so know what you mean by that because like that was always my biggest fear. Was
Right.
like not necessarily being poor. Like I'm not gonna say because like that could be like insensitive, but failure. Like,
Right. No.
my
Yeah.
biggest fear has always been
Absolutely.
failure and
100%.
feeling like I didn't do what I could have done.
Right.
So in my eyes, I'm going to get this degree,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to maximize, like you're going to be mad at Beyonce. You're mad at Beyonce. You're going to be real mad at me.
Right.
You're going to be really mad at me. You thought Beyonce and Jay-Z did something?
You're hilarious.
Oh.
You're crazy. This is really insane. This is really self-incriminating. I don't know. But I mean, like, I know what you mean.
Ooh,
I can't,
you know what I mean?
No, imagine
I'm
your
gonna-
parents crossing the ocean and then me ending up a failure. God
Yeah.
forbid. Actually, God forbid.
Yeah, money has to be made.
No, I have to like be able. Me and my parents like butt heads all the time. If you're my
Mhm.
friend, you know I have a
Yeah.
very complicated relationship with my parents. At the end of
Mhm.
the day, though, I'm never gonna say it to them, but they will be taken care of when they're
Yeah.
old. Absolutely, 100%.
Because, I mean, like, I feel like as black people, this is another thing. We can be pro-capitalist
Wait.
if we're black.
Well,
No, hear me out. Because this society, we live in a capitalistic society, number one.
That's
Unless we're moving, let me tell you something for all the socialists out there real quick. You're going to be real mad.
Me. I don't know.
You're going to be real mad. And if you kick out all the capitalists in this country, who's going to innovate? Socialist.
Who's going to exploit poor people? Socialist. That's well.
Okay. Well,
socialists, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. Bro.
You know what? This conversation could go for so long. No, genuinely, just because like I feel like I don't know. I feel like in order to make progress and to innovate and to have that competitive market and to generate new ideas, you need capitalism. And that's the reason that we have developed, not only as a country, but just in the world alone. And I do agree, there are, like you said, like there are lower income individuals. Oh yeah. Wait, yeah, because I'm media trained.
Corey
y'all.
Learning how to be
I'm media
politically
trained.
correct is.
I'm media
really...
trained.
You're media trained.
Those that come from a lower income background, a lot of times. Well, I'm not gonna say a lot of times. Most of the time, capitalism is at their demise. But I've also seen individuals from lower income backgrounds that have used capitalism to change their life.
But are they the exception or the rule?
Ooh.
Right.
Sit on it. Because I don't.
You're not.
Sit on that.
You're
because
so...
I mean, I know that. I don't know. What I do know is that money's gonna be made.
Period. Maybe not at the expense of others.
To my original point, Black people can be pro-capitalist because Black people can be pro-capitalist because we are in a capitalistic society in the United States. I'm sorry, socialist. If you want, I don't know what you want actually because you live here. So
I can tell you what we want.
You live here. And let's be real, the Democrats and the Republicans, capitalist. The government,
the
capitalistic. And the two-party system is terrible. I agree, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Capitalism isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's definitely not leaving in our lifetime. So make your money. We're boycotting Starbucks.
Right. What are your thoughts on? Wait, why are you laughing?
It was the way you said right.
It's actually crazy if you still. I've
seen so many Starbucks cups.
I was literally at Target today, and you know how they have that Starbucks right next to the counter.
Mm-hmm.
I looked over; it was a bunch of white girls in line. I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah. You're all IDF apologists.
And
Stanley, count your days.
Yeah, if you have a Stanley Cup, die. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So y'all, say that? I don't know if y'all know this, but Corey does this thing where like he says something extremely wild and then immediately acts incredibly surprised like he didn't just say it.
No, because what did Nikki say? I'm a multiple personality. Because like I didn't mean to say that. I'm not hating on Stanley Cup supporters. However, you need to realize that Stanley is a company that chose to partner with Starbucks in the midst of all this, and y'all are putting money in their pocket.
And y'all voted.
Y'all voted for a cup, for
bad.
A sippy cup, for an
pink,
adult sippy cup.
For an adult sippy cup.
It's not
crazy.
Insane. So, and if you're still buying Stanley Cups,
you're corny.
You're weird. I don't know. If you're still buying Stanley Cups, you need to go get you what is that? Owalu, the bottle?
Owula?
Whatever. You know what we're talking about.
But I know what you're talking about. And they eat. I don't know.
They eat. Go get you one. Or go get you one of those fake Stanleys off TikTok Shop.
Right. My sister got one.
$20. Same cup.
I'm like, Tiwa, is that a Stanley? She was like, absolutely not. I'm like, good.
Go to Five Below.
Period.
Yeah, go to Five Below.
Like,
we're boycotting Starbucks.
Y'all just like spending money to spend money.
And y'all are weird for that. Really weird.
Give your dad his credit card back.
Ooh. That goes for the college students too.
Especially y'all.
Especially y'all. Yeah.
Free UNC Chapel Hill.
Free us.
Free us.
Free us from you, the shackles of UNC Chapel Hill.
Yeah. I hope this doesn't get me expelled. I don't know. Do you think it will? I don't know. No, free speech is allowed.
No, we're gonna. Oh my god, I wish we could have a whole segment.
I'm gonna get a cease and desist letter from the university.
No, going back. I just want. Okay, this is what I'll say to the listeners that are listening right now that go to UNC. please do your research. It's UNCAFFAXN, the Affirmative Action Coalition at UNC. They have a post up right now that talks about the interim chancellor. One was posted January 3rd. And yes, so if you go, I'll give another shout out. It's UNCAFFAXN. It's the Affirmative Action Coalition at UNC on Instagram. And if you go to their post from January 3rd, who is UNC's next Pookie, interim chancellor? If you go to that post, they kind of get into, Kevin G leaving, us getting this new chancellor, and what this means for the university. So, yeah, do your research because this is your university. You pay, you may or may not, but yeah, you go here. So
period.
You need to know what's going on.
One way or another.
One way or
another. We're paying to be here.
We're paying to be here. One way or another.
I know I am.
We're paying for that degree.
Doesn't have to be intuition.
Whether it's monetary or not.
Right.
But yeah, to circle back to the original the final question. Yeah, Tolu, your future. You can talk about 2024, the rest of your college, time. Well, your rest of your time at UNC. Looking into the future for your life. Just give us like a little, what you're looking forward to, what you're excited about.
Right. I'm looking forward to, at least in 2024, and my time at UNC.
Mm-hmm.
I am trying to take better care of myself.
Okay.
And not just in like a physical sense, although I am like trying to go to the gym more, trying to eat healthier. That's a work in progress. We're getting there. I might try that keto diet you're talking about. I might, but I love bread.
I'm not eating hey, there is low carb bread. I just had a sandwich yesterday.
Was it good?
Yeah. You have to get used to it.
Right.
I mean, it's definitely, it's not bread, but
I'm used to eating African bread, bro. I've been spoiled.
I'm very delusional, so I act like it's real bread. So
well, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
But also like trying to take better care of myself, like mentally as well. I feel like I push myself a lot because I'm trying to kind of keep up with everyone else around me. And honestly, like, it's a cliche, but comparison really is the thief of joy. Like, I feel like other people look at me and they're like, oh, you do so much. And I'm looking at myself and I'm like, I'm not doing enough. I'm never not doing enough.
God, me too.
Right.
Me too.
But it's like, obviously I'm doing enough. Like, I go here. I go to a top school with a scholarship. Obviously I'm doing enough. Being here is enough, period.
Yes.
Like, this is not an easy school to get into.
Not at all.
Right.
And it's not an easy school to maintain.
Right. And I'm out of state too.
That.
Like, damn, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
And I don't give myself enough grace for stuff like that, I think. Especially my friend Kina, she was in EROT. By the way, quick plug. EROT, Ebony Reader Sonic Theater, is the only spoken word group on campus, and we are a collective of Black and brown poets, and we have 3 shows a year. Come out to our love show in February, the week of Valentine's Day. We'd love to have you. But anyways, last year she pointed out something to me. She was like, Tolu, you're always complaining about how like you're kind of struggling, but you also feel like you shouldn't be struggling because it feels like other people are having it worse than you, or like are struggling, or like busier than you are.
Right.
But it's like, you already have a lot to worry about because like dealing with like your home life and like the way your parents aren't really like supportive of who you are and how you kind of come here and be yourself despite that. That's kind of like a big like thing to have on your mind all the time. And honestly, she's right. I don't pay a lot of attention to it because I don't like to think about it, but it's like I have a lot of stuff going on that like I feel kind of, I don't want to say handicaps me, but it's like, it's definitely something that doesn't make what I'm going through easier. Right. Yeah. And so I think that I'm just here. I'm trying to give myself more grace in 2024 and from here on out. And also like at UNC to just kind of like enjoy myself here. Okay. Like I'm doing everything I need to do. Like I need to be honest. I'm doing everything I need to do. Right. I'm hitting all my goals. Yeah. Like, and I just need to be content with that. Right. And not always try to like outdo myself for the purpose of like making sure I'm keeping up, quote unquote, with other people.
And I think that's something that all UNC students need to hear. I know it's something I need to hear. It's something that I tell myself constantly. I'm constantly telling myself, like, you're not doing enough. You see, and especially being at the business school, the business major is one of the most competitive majors I've ever heard of.
Right.
It's so competitive there because it's so many of us, and it's like whose resume is gonna be the best? Who's gonna get that interview?
I
Who's
didn't
gonna
like
get
that
that
either
internship?
because also a lot of people.
It's
I was competing with
so
people
competitive.
as a business major who had family connections and stuff that I couldn't keep up with.
And it's not fair. That
not
part isn't
fair.
necessarily fair. I'm not mad at them for that because
Right.
they can't control how they can't control their circumstances. But it does get it's hard for someone like me, who, or honestly, every UNC student can relate to this. Being in high school and having that sense of security of, oh, like there's no one that I'm really competing with. Like I win, you lose, haha.
Right.
Like like it's
Right.
having that sense of academic validation all the time and just it being easy. But then you get here and everybody had that feeling. Everybody was the top of their class at their high school, and everyone and like and transitioning and not having that feeling of being special is it's a work in progress.
It was crazy.
It was such a like people talk about the culture shock of coming to a PWI. The shock for me was coming here and being surrounded by people who were also smart and impressive. That was intimidating for me.
Well, I mean, it was both for me. I went to a predominantly black high school. My high school experience was actually very unique because of the fact that, like, I went to a predominantly black high school, but it was also very, like, academically rigorous. And my high school had money.
Okay.
And so a lot of my peers had money, too. So, like, our student parking lot was...
Well, you're from Maryland.
That is true. I am from Maryland.
Yeah,
Shout
that's
out,
where all the black rich
shout out
people
to
decide
DMV.
to...
Yeah, I wasn't one of them. I was a magnet student. So
Okay.
my school was 30 minutes away from my house. So I would pull up in my little Volkswagen next to my friends with Audis and Teslas and Mercedes-Benz. And I thought I was competing with my peers there. Like, I thought it was serious competition. I didn't know what competition was until I got here.
And
right.
Stepping your cookies up before they crumble here
Right.
is a different
That's
ball
work.
game.
That's work.
Because I realized that, we were at Shirt Admits. So that alone did kind of ease that because, like I didn't think it was a big deal. I was like, this is another just one of those opportunities they threw in there.
I didn't
like,
realize how important it was.
I didn't realize it until I got
oh
here.
my God, you're in a Shirt Admit.
When you drop that on someone, when they would be like, oh, what's your major? And I would be like, business. And they would be like, oh, you're a freshman, so you mean pre-business? And then I would be like, oh, no, I mean
I'm in a Shirt
business. I'm in a Shirt Admit, but thank you.
Right.
And you know what? It was really funny when it would be an upperclassman.
Right.
An upperclassman who would be like, oh, you're a freshman. And I'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, yeah, like I'm a business major. Oh, pre-bit. And then I would just be like, yeah, I'm in a Shirt Admit. And like they would be like, oh, but like that, I don't know. I feel like that kind of did ease that imposter syndrome because I was like, oh, well, I am in a Shirt Admit to the B school. I did get that. I still got that ounce of academic validation, and then obviously with being an honor student and all, like we still had we had a better experience than most, I feel, but it was still rough. And like that, going back to that competition piece, I get so lost in it. I find myself like this. I get so consumed in work and just like doing extra stuff apart from school. Like I was talking about in episode 1. I don't know if I touched on it, but I didn't really talk about it. But like being consumed and just trying to fine tune that resume and really like make it one of the best.
It gets to be almost like an addiction, right? And then I think
it's a rat race.
It is, right.
It's
and I feel like even now, after switching my major, I still kind of feel that way sometimes. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing enough creative projects.
Well, that's the UNC effect.
Right. It's just bad. And even then, like, and I actually wanted to go back to what you're talking about us being a Shirt Admits. That actually made me switching from business so much harder because so many people are like, you're in a Shirt Admit. Why would you switch? Why would you give that up? You know how many people would kill to be in your position?
People would die.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
What now?
Right?
Right.
So, what now?
I feel like, is there a potential for a Tolu business minor?
There was, and now there isn't.
Oh.
Because...
In the sense that...
well, I meant what I said.
Yeah.
I think I was still considering it just because I didn't really want to, like, quote unquote, let it go to waste.
Okay.
But then I was thinking more critically about it, and I was like, okay, what do I think that I will be getting out of the B school that would make me want to do all of the prereqs that are the same as a major to get into the minor, and then still go up there to that big hill and deal with those people in my classes for what? To not even have that minor be on my degree when I graduate. I didn't think it was worth it. Yeah. Especially because, again, I wasn't interested in doing anything specifically in the business field that would require a business degree.
Okay.
Anything that I would be doing, even, like, let's say even I ended up in consulting somehow. I could still end up in consulting with an advertising degree.
You can.
Like, and so I'm just not.
Because people don't realize that also. A degree is a degree.
Right.
A degree is a degree, because let me tell you, the main lesson that college has taught me professionally is that the things that the reason that companies and employers want you to have a degree has nothing to do with the technical skills you learn here. It is all about those soft skills. It is all about
absolutely.
Like, like, obviously if you go into like IB or something like that, like, that's a little different, because obviously you need some knowledge, but that comes from internships. That does not come from your time here, really. Right. What you get from your time here is you get that time management, you get that leadership, you get that sense of self we were talking about earlier. You get all these those communication skills, the collaboration skills. All of those skills is what prepares you for the real world. That's what I'm getting.
And that's why when people, like, try to be like, oh, your major isn't really, like, real, I don't take that. I don't, like, listen to what they're saying, because it's like,
I am one of the people that will joke with Tolu. It is a joke. I will so joke with Tolu and be like, well, you're gonna be poor. That
mind you, he's a double major in my major. Like, he's majoring in business and ad PR.
That's
so
true.
I don't know, but
that's true.
But because it's teaching me so many of those soft skills, how to be a stronger writer, how to be a better communicator, how to conduct yourself in interviews, how to go about finding a job and other opportunities. They teach you all those things.
The networking of it all.
The networking is so important. I literally have a meeting coming up with a Carolina alumna because one thing about me, I'm getting an internship this summer. Yeah. Trust. Yeah. It's already handled. God handled it. God did it. God did. Like... Hello.
Yeah. So going forward, you were in the middle of your answer, right? I don't know what you were saying.
No.
You were talking about.
Fake as hell.
I forgot what was, because I asked you about the future for the original question to wrap us up, and I don't know where we ended up.
Well, basically, I'm just gonna get finer, smarter, richer.
I just saw Nick the other day. She keeps getting finer all the time now. Stream Pink Friday too.
Period.
Yeah. High heels on my tippies.
Dough, Saint and Gabbana, that's on my. Pop me about 10 minutes while I ride the.
Yo, if you're not streaming Pink Friday too, what are you doing?
Literally.
Every time Big Difference plays, I feel like that is a song that was made for Sagittariuses.
Sagittarii.
You're right.
I'm a major. I would know.
You're gonna be bored. Yeah, Sagittarii. Ugh, that's so ugly. That she definitely made that song for us. Period. Oh my god, like Big Difference.
Sagittarius, so you know I'm an optimist. Her lyricism.
Lotto said, "Put it on the floor." Nikki said, "Clean sweep." You getting mopped, ho? I'm sorry.
She's so talented.
Yeah.
I wish I was a quarter of the writer she was. A quarter, a fifth. I don't know.
Wait, let me come up with something. Let me come up with something from a pick one of the Pink Friday 2 songs. I'm gonna do a freestyle.
Yes, FTCU.
I love Freak the Club. I love Freak the Club Up. The club up. The pod up. Freak the pod up.
What?
Take away 2. You know I'm on the pod and I rap here. I just started this. Now we got Tolu here.
What?
Special guest episode 2. You better stream.
Okay.
And when we don't talk, they call us me.
Ah.
But they're just mad because we're us. My back wide as a bus. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what? I just hope this podcast can be something fun for everyone on this campus.
I agree. I think it will be.
I think it will be.
I would love to be back here.
No, seriously. Okay, there's another thing. Someone said, Justin mentioned something, and he said, what if I had a co-host for CORmeetsWorld? And I was like,
text me.
no, literally, because like guys of you, let me know. Let me know in the comments if y'all like
to be a co-host.
If y'all would want Tolu as a regular co-host on CORmeetsWorld, that would be amazing.
I have a lot to chat about.
Yeah, there's a lot to be talked about.
To be honest, we didn't even get into a quarter of it. I have a lot more.
There's a lot to
discuss.
There's a lot to talk about.
Just saying.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much, Tolu, for coming on to CORmeetsWorld and being our first special guest. I'm saying ours if I have a team. I do have a team, actually, y'all.
Yeah. I'm on it
in my head. Yeah. So we have. I just want to let y'all know we have Mark. We have Shelly, Tiffany, and Barb. Her name is Barbara, but we call her Barb here at CORmeetsWorld. They're all on my team. They help me.
Is she a Barb?
Yes. Everyone in the team are Barbs.
You and Shelly? Shelly sounds annoying.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Shell. But
the room is empty, guys.
Oh my God! They don't know that we have a lot of people here to make this production run, guys. Don't listen to Tolu. But yes, thank you again for coming. Hope to have you back very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And
likewise.
Yeah, I hope you have an amazing semester. But I mean, y'all will hear from them soon. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
They will be back.
Amen.
And we can get some updates and talk a little more. But seriously, if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to episode 2 of CORmeetsWorld. The next episode, it'll probably be just me, but we'll see. But yeah, seriously, thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.